launched. And what a year it's been for the Air Max 1s. They have been on fire. And then on top of all that, you've also got some really subtle hits I'm not sure people are catching. I love it when they take the time to design them differently, and you know they're not just like grinding out the shoes to get as much cash as possible. But this is that place where I want to sort of highlight for you guys out there. Maybe you don't know this. Maybe this is the very first time you'll have noticed this on this shoe. But I've had my eye on this one for quite some time. The Denham Air Max Pack. There's 3 of them and they are just fire. I absolutely love these shoes. All 3 of them absolutely epic. But I don't know why they're doing this, but for some reason this Air Max 1 is dropping on September the 18th and the Air Max 90 and 95s are dropping on September the 25th. So I'm going to take their lead and I'm going to split this into 2 halves. So I'm going to look at the Air Max 1 today and we'll save the Air Max 90 and 95s for another day. But like I say, I've had my eye on these sneakers for quite some time and I've been itching to make the video, but I always make videos no more really than 2 weeks ahead of the drop date. Sometimes there are exceptions and I'm just like, I'm making that video right now. I remember doing that with the Jordan 4 Off-White, which are beautiful shoes, dropped earlier this season. But these guys, you know, I saw them maybe 3-4 weeks in and I thought, oh, I've got to wait. And finally, the day has arrived when I can do this video about the upcoming release of the Nike Air Max 1 Denham. This is the Tokyo Body 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo Body 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi upsuno no de, mainichi minchi kudasai. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And just while I was saying that, literally, I mean, I researched these videos for quite some time before I actually come here and make them. It's not just like me, stream of consciousnessing these things. It's actually stuff that's planned. But I didn't even think about this. There was a shoe that dropped recently. I think it was the Air Jordan 3 Denim. And it talks very heavily about the sort of not sneaker culture, the denim culture here in Tokyo, Japan. And I never thought of that when I was looking at this shoe, but it is a very heavy denim shoe. Now, it's denim makes denim, if that makes any sense to you. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Denim makes denim in Amsterdam. So this is all about Jason Denham, and his store and his brand, high quality premium denim products based out of Amsterdam, but now quite a global brand, tying it up with the Air Max line to make 3 different sneakers. And like I say, the drop date's September 18th for this one, the Air Max 1, and September the 25th for the Air Max 90s and 95s. So we'll take their lead, we'll split it in half, and we'll do that. We'll take a close-up look at the Air Max 1s first. And what a year it's been for the Air Max 1s. They have been on fire. All of 2020 has just been amazing for Air Max 1s. Now, I personally have really enjoyed these shoes for the last, I don't know, 9 to 12 months. Now, going back in chronological order, the ones that I'm thinking about is the Sneakers Day pack, which dropped on August I want to say the 8th. I think it was the 8th. And it said it right in the back on the heel of those shoes. It was branded there, Sneakers Day, August the 8th. But then just not too long before that, we also had the Anniversary pack, which for me was a bit of a letdown, honestly speaking. A bit too simple, not enough sort of, I don't know, not enough special stuff going on, not enough sort of extra little hits in there, which is exactly what these were not. This is the Amsterdam and the London special edition pack. They were just fire. Now, I'm pretty sure they came out quite a long time ago, but when you've done more than 600 videos on YouTube every day for 600 plus days, you know, they sort of meld into each other a little bit, and I'm starting to sort of forget which shoe came first and which shoe came on which season. I know the order these guys came in, but I just can't remember when the Amsterdam Londons came around. But I do know they were exactly what I'm looking for in an Air Max 1, which is the beautiful classic silhouette with a couple of little hits in there just to raise it above the normal sort of standard silhouette. And that's exactly what we've got today. We've got the classic Air Max 1 silhouette with some really fine hits on there. And then on top of all that, you've also got some really subtle hits I'm not sure people are catching. I think people might have been missing out on a couple of the really cool details on this shoe, and we'll get into that today. So let's start big and go small, and we'll start with this right here. This is the best picture I could find of a tailor suit that's in the middle of being made. When they cut a suit, like handmade suit, we're not talking about churning it out on a machine somewhere, we're talking a handmade tailor suit. They either use chalk, or I think in the case of this one, it might be stitching to sort of get the perfect fit, to tailor it to you, to your actual specifications and dimensions. And that lining, those lines lines in there, the chalk lines, and the sort of the special handmade element of that shoe is the motif. That shoe of that suit is the motif in this shoe and in 3 different places. So we'll start with that, which is going in on the toe box, and you can see there's a grid pattern in there. So it's got that kind of blue effect. The base color of the shoe is that denim blue effect, and then on top of that you've got these chalk lines, and in the case of the toe box on there, like I said, it's a kind of grid pattern that they're kicking it off with. But then when you travel back to the quarter line, you get a really interesting little pattern in there, and it's a sort of step effect that kind of radiates out from one particular spot. Kind of unusual, doesn't really fit. If you go back to that suit and look at the sort of lines on there, a step effect doesn't really fit that narrative, but coming back to the Air Max 1s, you can see it on there, and it is a very cool look for the shoe. And then as you come back again even further along the quarter line to the midfoot, we've gone from the grid that was on the toe box, the steps in the middle there, and then now we're onto just a sort of straight horizontal dashed lines throughout the midfoot of the sneaker. Very, very cool. Great motif. It really works for the shoe, but it also works for the narrative of this whole kind of premium handmade products, which is very much what the denim line goes for in denim. But this is that place where I want to sort of highlight for you guys out there. Maybe you don't know this. Maybe this is the very first time you'll have noticed this on this shoe. But what I'm talking about is if you look from above down onto the toe box of the shoe, you can really get a sense of how the left and the right shoes are not symmetrical, and especially what I'm talking about is on the medial side. So hopefully I've zoomed in on the medial sides of both shoes side by side, and you can see that they do not match. And I'm especially talking about, I think it's more about the quarter line and the midfoot area where not the toe box. I think the toe boxes do match, but the quarter line and the midfoot area, if you look at the sort of styling on there, it isn't a mirror image. And especially if I remember rightly, if I've got it the wrong way around, which I usually have, apologies for that, but what I'm talking about is on the right shoe you can see a lot of that chalk design, but then on the left shoe it's more blank and just that blue sort of denim feel to it. And if it's the wrong way around, if it's left to right, right to left, it doesn't really matter. The point still stands that they are not symmetrical, and I love that in shoes. I love it when they take the time to design them differently, and you know they're not just like grinding out the shoes to get as much cash as possible. They're actually focused on design. So for me, that's a really main narrative of the shoe and the sort of motif of the shoe, but it's also that hidden sort of element that people, I don't know if they're picking up on it as much as they are on the sort of major elements of the shoe. Speaking of major elements, we might as well zoom in on something that's very easy to see when we've started like up high looking down from above, and that's onto the tongues, because they are really, this is one of the places where you know you've got your high quality premium materials going on. It's a very nice leather tongue with a Nike swoosh emblazoned up there on the top. Very simple, but it's very kind of clear that the tie-up is between the blue of the denim, and then you've got this leather up here, which is just like the patch that you get on the back of a pair of denim jeans. Very cool, very premium. And then when you come down from that and follow the laces to the very bottom, the one place that I can see that they've actually gone for a very denim look, and not just as kind of hinting at it with colours or chalk and things like that, but an actual denim look is at the bottom of the lacing system. You can see that little strip there that looks like it's in actual denim material, and it's another really nice feature and another really clear nod to that sort of premium materials. But now we need to go back to the quarter line side, like to the lateral side, so you can see the flush side of the shoe, because there's a nice little touch in here which I didn't pick up on at first until one of the very last things I noticed about this shoe. So if we're looking at the lateral side and I'm zooming in on something, and the thing I'm zooming in on is that beautiful lush textured leather white swoosh on the side of these guys, which is obvious. I mean, it's easy for people to see that, but the thing that jumped out on me is the red stitching that runs around the outside edge of it and gives it just a little bit of contrast and just a little bit of definition. I didn't really pick up on the stitching until I really had a closer look at the shoe, and I'm like, yes, that's actually very cool, and I agree with that kind of placement and that decision making as far as that piece of the shoe goes. And then if we travel back from that, it's not too hard to get to the heel section. You've got this beautiful lush suede going on back there, and again that kind of embossed effect with the branding on the back. I think I'm right in saying, I hope I've got this right, Nike swoosh Air on the back, whereas up on the tongues it's just a Nike and a swoosh. On the back you've got Nike swoosh and Air as well on the back there, and that premium lush beautiful materials yet again giving us that just excellent finish to this shoe. And like I said earlier, you know, when they take that silhouette, that simple Air Max 1 silhouette, and play with it and add some, like, embellish it with these beautiful little touches, it really takes the shoe forward, and I'm an absolutely huge fan of it. Speaking of a fan of it, I don't have a very clear picture of this or view, and I'm very critical about this in my sneakers. It has to be just right for it to be just right, and I'm talking about a gum sole. And on these guys, yes, it works. It fits the rest of the narrative of the shoe. Sometimes I feel when they throw a gum sole on the bottom of a sneaker, it's like totally the opposite of the actual story of the shoe. But with these guys, with that kind of denim feel, and then the leather and the suede hits to give you that idea of the tab or the branding panel on the back of jeans, then having that brown, it's quite a deep brown, it's not a light brown gum sole but a deep brown gum sole on the outside of these guys. It does work with the rest of the shoe, and it's a very big yes for me. And then the final thing to do is go up high and back to a look down from above, because I want to just look at the branding on the inside of these guys. It's the only place I could find that has the actual specific branding of the denim line, and it's these scissors, the Taylor's scissors. Now I understand that these Taylor scissors are actually stitched into every pair of jeans or denim product that the denim line produces, and it's 691 stitches to create that one little bit of design on that the actual denim products. Now I don't think we're seeing that on these shoes. I don't think there's somewhere on these shoes where they've got a 691 stitch pair of scissors on there, but it's very cool to see it on the insole and give you that flavour of the brand without overriding the top half of the shoe in that very cool narrative of the Taylor's dummy denim product. So back out looking at the whole shoe, absolutely yes for Nike Air Max, absolutely yes for denim. I'm glad I was able to look at this shoe alone and keep the 95s and the 90s back for later, because this shoe is just that little bit special, a little bit more than the other two for me. And it's great that they're releasing this on September the 18th, and then we'll have another two pairs following up on September the 25th. So very big yes for me. Hopefully it's a very big yes for you and you enjoyed this video. But now it's time for me to sign off. It's 11:30 at night on Monday night, and I have a chance of getting to bed before midnight if I get this video tucked away real fast. So thanks for checking out the content, and I'll do what I do at the end of every single video, which reminds you that I do this every single day. So that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.